Was geht ab, Freunde? Nicht wundern, es sieht hier total chaotisch aus. Warum? Weil am Samstag ein komplettes Banger-Video kommt und wenn ich coole Videos aufnehme, habe ich keine Zeit zum Aufräumen. Deswegen, yo, es tut mir leid. Heute reagieren wir auf das Video Squid Game mit und ohne Special Effects. Ich finde es immer sau interessant bei Filmen und Serien, wie da nachbearbeitet wird, weil da obviously ziemlich viel nachbearbeitet wird, vor allem auch bei Squid Game. Außerdem finde ich die Serie super geil, deswegen umso interessanter. Freunde, ich habe gemerkt, ihr kommentiert und liked hier zu wenig. Nur weil es der Zweitkanal ist, heißt es nicht, dass ihr das aufhören sollt, was ihr beim Erstkanal macht. Deswegen kommentiert, ob ihr Squid Game geil findet oder nicht, ob zu overrated, zu overhyped, geil, Schwanzgröße, irgendwas und liked natürlich das Video, damit wir hier auch so cool werden wie auf dem Erstkanal. Ich bedanke mich für euren Support. Ich zähle auf euch. Ich persönlich finde Squid Game ist eine Barber-Serie. Ich bin jetzt keiner, der sagt so, ja, Squid Game, das schauen viel zu viele Leute. Ich schaue das nicht. Finde ich schon sehr gelungen auf jeden Fall, die Serie. Sehr, sehr geil. Action! Wir gehen rein. Oh, es ist Englisch. Genau. Deswegen haben wir englische Untertitel. Und ich übersetze euch. Keine Sorge, Leute. Ich mache das schon für euch.
There was just as much action behind the scenes as on screen, with camera people running around
Guck mal, wie das in echt aussieht. So krass,
and
ne?
intense visual effects being produced live.
Alter.
The glass stones ending definitely caught us off guard, but the process to capture the way it surprised Gion, Se-byok, and Sang-woo was an extensive one. Filming, the actors only had a small amount of glass explode near them. The slow motion feeling really comes through in how the actors
Guck mal, wie oft die das
perform.
machen mussten.
After capturing shots of the trio, each got to do their close-up work with singles as well. It may be a short moment, but plenty of hours were put into capturing every nuance and angle.
Für uns 5 Sekunden oder 10 Sekunden waren das. Und die mussten da 3, 4, 5 Stunden locker stehen und immer denselben Move machen und immer dieselben Shots. Von jedem Winkel aus, damit man den besten bekommt. Das ist so krass, da überlegt man gar nicht drüber. Der sieht auch so
When
echt aus,
time
ne?
came for the big visual of the glass stepping
Wie macht man
stones we
das?
see exploding, the team didn't resort to CGI for the shards of glass, except for the ones that appear to harm the players and fly towards the camera. They actually went ahead and created the whole sequence in studio. These practical effects look unreal on the set. It's no surprise it translates to such a powerful and stunning visual in the episode.
Krass.
Hello, players.
Okay, da sieht man's schon.
The cast of Squid Game dove right in when playing glass stepping stones and definitely
Auch mit der
didn't have it
Belichtung und
easy
sowas.
since for many,
Voll
it was
krass.
actually terrifying to film. While CGI came into play in terms of establishing the setting and just how high in the air the
Es sieht
players
so echt
were,
aus, ne?
much of the carnival-like set was fully built. Even the glass. Fortunately, no one actually went through shattering glass, instead landing on a board supported by crew to allow the actor to fall safely.
Ach, die haben sogar diese Weizendinger reingemacht.
In the show, the set that Red Light Green Light takes place on already seems awfully crowded with the nearly 500 players, but on the set, there were even more folks, making it a pretty chaotic yet well-organized space. We would have thought CGI was used to add the bodies of those who lost during the game, especially the piles of people at the doors, but the actors all actually stayed wherever they were when they lost the game, which couldn't have been very
Gott.
comfortable. When it came to
Also sie sind die ganze Zeit da drin geblieben. Locker mehrere Stunden. Also wenn sie sich totgestellt haben, dann mussten die sich auch 5 Stunden
filming
totstellen.
close, multiple cameras were used
Oh,
to
meine
capture the
Cam.
performances, and the filming crew was often running along
mal
with
so.
the players. The added detail of using a red marker to signal when a person took a shot is evident of just how thorough and meticulous the team was. No one could get away with cheating during the game either. If one person moved out of time, we're looking at you, Sang-woo. Then everyone had to start over.
Oh mein
Today's
Gott.
game is Tug of
Krass.
War.
The performers did not have it easy playing the often physically demanding games when filming the series, since they really were going through the struggle depicted on screen. The sweat, effort, and even chained handcuffs securing them to the rope were real. There definitely couldn't be much movement between takes since everyone was literally tied up together. With a scene like this, there isn't really any other way to do it than at 100%.
Move up or you die!
Maybe one of the most terrifying, gasp-worthy moments in the show is seeing Gion hanging between safety and the end of the game for his whole team. The tension is real.
Stellt euch einfach mal dieses Game in Real Life vor, dass ihr das wirklich machen müsst. So krank.
Even though the platform they were on
Ich hab so
was just a
gesweatet, als ich
meter
das
and a
geschaut
half
hab.
off the ground. While swinging on a rope is usually pretty fun, this collective rope swing down tells a very different story and shows just how far the actors and production went to bring the best footage to the screen.
My God, I can't believe how cool that was.
The moment after the most intense tug-of-war we've ever seen is so still, but we can see just how exhausted each and every actor is, having just struggled and fought for their lives, literally. This shot is definitely needed as a moment of pause after the insane game just played, resulting in so many lives lost. This is also a bit of a moment of reckoning. This was hard, but whatever was coming next would only be harder, and they knew it.
You know what? I really thought we were going to die out there.
For the final face-off, the soundstage was a lot emptier with just
das war auch krass mit dem Regen. Boah,
Yeon and
Schlammschacht.
Sang-woo competing. But there were many camera people, often filming using handheld video cameras to capture all the frantic action. Not only that, their crew made it rain, making the whole scene just as dramatic as the gruesome fight we see in the final cut. As filming went on, the two actors only got more disheveled, with rain soaking through and blood effects added throughout the battle. In order to get all the footage they needed, the actors had to be on point at every moment.
I won't let you leave here with that money.
The honeycomb scenes looked pretty similar on set as they did in the show. With the exception of the childlike drawn wallpaper, the rest of the set was filled with giant playground equipment and the smell of freshly made dalgona, the Korean honeycomb sweet. Luckily, the actors
Ich sehe
didn't
nur noch
have
auf TikTok diese
to
Challenges.
listen to the actual loud noise each time a bullet was fired, as someone on set was in charge of giving a shout to indicate the moment instead, so the performers had a solid, unified cue to react to. Behind the scenes, we get a glimpse of just how hands-on the director was when it came time to shoot.
Die sehen so lecker aus, ne?
Surprisingly, the cavernous, cool space where we see the confrontation between the police officer and a team member of the Squid Game is real. The
Aber der
opening
mit
on
der Gun ist so heiß, ne?
the top of the cave and the murky pool made the ideal setting. No doubt the actors felt totally immersed in the story. Shooting these scenes were pretty simple. All they needed were a couple of cameras, the right costumes, and the actors' chilling performances.
Do you want to die?
The glimpses we get of the players' lives before the game offer such a colorful backstory, especially when we see them with their families. Each of these scenes were
Was hat das jetzt mit den Effekten zu tun?
quite intimately and simply, focusing on the narrative and what these relationships
keine
meant to the
Effekte.
player, which translated to the screen beautifully. It's also one of the only times we get to see a typical everyday aesthetic, making the stark contrast between the real world and the Squid Game world even more apparent.
So which color do you want to play as?
How could we forget the original Squid Game? Filming this scene may have been one of the simplest setups, using an existing playground space. It
Yeah.
only adds to the realism of the show and offers a great reminder of where the players started, as innocent children playing games for fun, instead of their lives.
At that moment, I felt as if I owned the entire world.
Hanging out in the dorms between games certainly wasn't any less stressful than the games themselves. The bare-bones set with the cool industrial
So
edge
krass, ne? Sieht so krass aus, die
does
Location.
the trick, and the feeling of the daunting space comes through the screen. What we saw in the show was almost exactly what was happening on set, with
Ja, da
all
kann man
the
ja auch
added
nichts anderes
cameras
machen.
and crew people, of course.
Sah schon
Can't
sehr
fall
echt
asleep.
aus, oder war auch alles
That's
echt?
okay. Who knows what someone else may try?
Many moments in the Marbles game bring intense connection and emotion. The way they shot these scenes was a pretty stark difference from so many of the large and intense games.
So geile
The fact
Locations,
that the
waren sau
actors
nice
were in a
gemacht.
small space together with just a few crew members around really helps the intimacy come through and offers us the chance to get up close and personal with these characters and the short but meaningful relationship they have playing marbles.
We'll go around this whole town and take all the marbles, okay?
Ja, aber der hat den so hops genommen im Game. Beziehungsweise der Opa hat ihn dann zurück nochmal hops genommen.
One of the reasons the Marbles game is so effective is because of just how well the setting transports us to the alleys of a small village. It makes sense that this is the set the team spent the most time building.
Krass, guck mal, Alter, Junge.
Every detail, down to the stunning backdrops, moves us. It's no surprise they got the performances they did. The authenticity of this world is remarkable.
My wife and I have this one here.
Oh
The
mein
use of
Gott, da habe ich mich auch so aufgeregt, Junge.
practical effects, CGI, and incredible actors really went a long way in making the production
Ja, geiles Video. Da hat man mal gesehen, was für ein Aufwand so eine Serie bzw. solche Sachen mit sich bringen. Vergisst man immer ganz schnell, wenn man sowas sieht, ne? Wenn ihr wollt, dass wir auf mehr Squid Game Videos reagieren, dann lasst ein Like da. Abonniert gerne den Kanal, falls ihr es noch nicht gemacht habt. Haut rein, Leute. Ciao.